Here with we in college baseball head coach Eric Podbelski gearing up for the 2015 season. Coach, it's kind of hard to think about baseball right now considering the weather outside, but the Florida trip will be nice to go and start in a few weeks. But before we get to that, can you just talk about the preseason for your team, a little bit of fall ball and what you've been doing leading up to the trip so far?
Yeah, well, the process starts as soon as they get to campus in the fall. I thought our fall season was productive, was good, and that's kind of where we get a taste of where our leadership is going to come from. And I thought that all those things for the short amount of period that we get to go at it was real positive in terms of our inner squads and our date of competition and the practices and the on their own work that the guys are doing. We're very pleased, and then the off season, guys getting into their off season lifting and conditioning and all the things that they need to do seem to go really well. Guys came back to campus when we started indoors in January, pretty good shape, and they've just continued doing what they've been doing and showing up each day with a great attitude and a certain sense of urgency on improving and getting prepared for this season.
Coach, just talk about the schedule a little bit. The start of the season is on March 6th against Concordia in Florida. Have certainly a good bevy of teams ready to go for the Florida trip. We'll ask you about that first. Concordia on the 6th, St. Joe's doubleheader on the 7th, and then you just give us a little bit of a discussion about that trip for us.
Yeah, well, as always, we try to pack that schedule in with the most competitive teams that we can play while we're down there, and certainly this year's no different. Of the 10 games we're going to play, seven of those games will be against NCAA regional teams from a year ago, and when you take that into the schedule on a broader sense, in our 40 allowable games, 17 will be against NCAA regional teams from a year ago, including many home and aways, against some of the teams that competed in our regional here in New England. So, it's the same idea as we take a lot of pride in the strength of our schedule. It's going to show us where we need to improve. There's not going to be a lot of false hope. We're going to know who we are and where we are as we stack up against some of the other, really, really good teams, not only in the region but nationally when we go down to Florida.
Coach, can you just talk about the roster a little bit? 11 first-year student athletes into the fold this year. Just break down a little bit defense, pitching, and offense for us.
In terms of the freshmen or team in general?
In the team in general.
Okay. Well, and first question about the freshmen, we don't really know what we have until we start playing. We always feel like, that we bring in a class that is going to supplement what we already have in terms of our returners. That, it's like anything. Some guys are going to exceed our expectations. Some guys are going to be what we thought, and some guys are, might not be just ready yet. So the season will kind of play that out. We don't put any kind of, major expectations on our freshmen other than if they earn playing time. We're going to utilize them because they're on the roster and they're on the team, and the more they contribute, the better we'll be. But in the end, it's going to, it's going to be a mix between all the players that are playing and that have roles. And certainly, we have a lot of guys returning that have had good success in the past in terms of pitching, offense, defense. I always feel like the tight games and the tough games and tournament type games are won first and foremost with pitching and defense, and that's always where we try to be strong. Certainly try to have the best offense you can as well, because you're going to need it. And I feel like this is not really different than past years in that we have the potential to be solid and strong in all three areas, and we're going to need to be in order to to get where we want to go.
Coach, just talk about your senior class. You kind of alluded to the leadership earlier on in the interview, but just talk about your senior class and what they mean to this program.
Well, like every senior class, they mean an awful lot to the program. These guys have been through an awful lot when their time here. When they were freshmen, we took our second trip to the College World Series and made a run and played in the national championship game. So they have have been a part of that, and the following year coming back with some very high expectations, had another very strong year, and a lot of those guys really contributed to that team. Last year we fell back a little bit, didn't have quite the year we hoped, but I think that has them even more motivated heading into this year, and their leadership has been evident throughout the process, just as it has with every other senior class before them. They are, another in a long line of very strong senior classes with good leadership who want nothing more than for their team to succeed in their last year here, and that's how it should be.
Coach, last question for you, simple one. Just goals and expectations for the upcoming year.
Yep. Well, the expectation is nothing more than coming out each day to practice, and each day we have a game and in an effort to get better, just like every other team, but you've got to, you want to try to hold the kids accountable to staying to that. It's easy to say that in the first day of, your meetings and your first practice and all that, but, that's got to remain a focus even when things aren't going great. And there's going to be moments where, a certain individual or certain individuals or our team in general aren't getting the results that we're hoping. And, we're going to face a little adversity here and there, especially with our schedule. And we've got to maintain that attitude of trying to get better and not, worrying about things that have happened or happened yesterday, and just each day is a new day. Turn the page, get better, and go out and compete the next day. And so those are the expectations, and that's always what they are. In terms of our goals, same as always. We want to be, the best team we can be, a team that continues to get better over the course of the year. And when it comes to this point, we want to try to first win our regular season championship in the NUMAC. Then we want to go and compete for our NUMAC championship, whether with an automatic bid or hopefully an overall strong record, and somehow, some way getting into the NCAA regional tournament. And then once you're there, you reset your goals, you try to win that, advance, and keep winning until your last game. Those are the goals every year. And there's no reason that this team can't achieve every goal they set for themselves if we just stay the course, keep getting better, guys keep the right mindset, and are mentally tough when the tough times hit.
All right, thanks, Coach, and good luck this season.
Thanks, Sean.